Hey guys, what's going on? It is Chris here. We are looking ahead to today's single game for NBA today for the 26th of January. Yeah, only one game today. They are going to be focusing on NFL today. I mean, that's what's going on, right? Whoever wins is going to be, moving on to the big one. So only one game for NBA. But I don't mind it. I'm going to be probably doing about 30, 40 lineups in the single contest. If you guys would like to buy in with me, like I said, that's basically we each buy in, let's say, for 30 or $40 each. And then, the more we put in, the more entries we can have. Then I go in there and, like I said, I just mass enter lineups. I do a couple cash ones, then I look at correlation and stuff like that. So if that's something you guys want to, get on and buy into, we can definitely do that and, win a little bit of money. You can turn your 20 or $30 into, 100, 300, anything could happen. So if you guys want to get in on that, we'd love for you guys to do that today. Um, like I said, $10,000 the first, if we both win, that's $5,000 a pop. So, but yeah, we'd love for you guys to get in. We scored a 332 on our premium yesterday. I forgot to put a photo, but we do have it on our Twitter. If you guys want to go over to our Twitter, and here's our Twitter, Chris Anthony NBA1. Give us a follow over there. Like I said, that's where we post all of our stuff. If you guys want to get in on premium lineups, it's only $5 for one lineup or $9 for two lineups for a day pass. If you guys want to get in on the monthly pass, only $25 per site. So yeah, that is mostly it. Like I said, that 332 would have came. I think I said what, eighth place in the monster if we would have played. So, like I said, the lineups are hitting pretty solid. Just haven't had time to play. Like I said, so much family stuff going on. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. So, there's a lot of different ways to really go at a single game, and it just depends on how much you're playing, the way you want to play. And that's now I'll go through it real quick. So if you're playing cash games, it probably works for a couple lineups in the tournaments. But if you're trying to, you're probably gonna if you play cash game, you put in $9, you're probably gonna like minimum cash or maybe a little bit above, just because you're gonna have a lot of people that everyone else is gonna have in the same exact spots. So DraftKings you only have one spot and then utilities, but FanDuel they make it a little bit harder. MVP, Star, and Pro, and then two utilities. So to make it so usually you don't tie as much. But if you're playing cash games, you want to just go straight up with the most points you think are going to happen. Shea, Williams, guys like that. You want to put them in the MVP and the star spot, and then make your way down with just the most comfortable plays that you think you're going to play. If you're going to be playing GPPs and MME, multi-mass enter, that's when you're going to be playing 50, 60, 70 lineups. That's where things start getting a little bit interesting. That's where you're going to be, putting a couple of the riskier guys in the pro spots and the correlation with certain players. Shea might be better with this guy, blah, blah, blah. That's when you start doing that kind of thing. So that's what the buy-ins are about. But I take care of all that. You just got to send the money. um, so yeah, let's go. Let's go look at a couple ways. Let's go look at cash. Let's play. You guys are just playing cash, one or two lineups. I think even in tournaments, Shea has to be the way to go here. It is I think a 13 spread and it's a 225 or so. So it's supposed to be a blowout. Even in the blowout, Shea is that one dude that gets his points usually. As you see, Brooklyn it was a blowout for the most part, and he still had 58.6. Dallas didn't do as good. That wasn't a blowout, but they just had his number a little bit there. So I think no matter what, you have to put in Shea Gilgis, even like I said in MME, he's going to be in there as your main guy. Going over to the star position, this is where, like I said, once again in cash games, I think Jalen Williams on cash game is probably your best bet. Um, this guy he puts up a ton of shots, and that's what you're looking for. You want those guys in your MVP spot. You want those guys to be shooting. You guys want those guys to have rebounds. That's the main thing. Portland, let's go look, see how they are against small forward, power forwards. That's kind of what Jalen Williams is. Um, Green means they're really bad against the spot. Red means they're really good against that area. And then obviously yellow means they're neutral. So Portland, as you can see, is not good overall defense. Give up 48.9% field goal percentage to small forwards, ton of three pointers, 3.1. Give up some steals as well, and kind of medium against the rebound position there. So I don't mind looking at Jalen Williams. You can even put him in there in a couple MVP spots, but the chances of him beating out Shea Gilgis every night as you can see, it doesn't usually happen. He beat him last time against Dallas, but Shea's the main dog there. So, um, yeah, cash games, I'll put him at the star position. Pro position, this is kind of where you get a little interesting. I personally love having block people at the pro position just because they get a little extra boost, for that block. Because blocks are three each. So, I don't know. I just like putting guys that like the block in that area. So, for me, I don't mind looking at Isaiah Harnstein in this position here. The only bad thing about him as he hasn't played in a couple days. He's only 26. He's pretty in shape. I'm pretty sure he's well conditioned. I don't think he's going to play massive minutes. I say about 21 to 23, depending on how much they play here. So Harnstein's more of you could put him there, but he's more that pro slash utility guy just because I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but he's also definitely a points per minute guy. He can go out there and ball, and Portland stinks without Aiton as well. So, yeah, they don't really have a true center, so Hardenstein should be able to get him pretty good. All right, so kind of in the utility spot where you want to go in cash games. To me, that's kind of where you guys want guys with once again with high usage rate. So, like Simons has a pretty good usage rate. Likes to shoot the ball. Probably not going to get a ton of points here, 28 to 30 fantasy points. But in the utility spot, you love seeing that. But he is 12,000. Other guys to look at is Case and Wallace at 10,000. The guy that's in the starting lineup. Um, not the craziest guy out there, but a guy that you can get you 23, 24. The only thing though is he might have a slight bump down in the rebounds, but also Dort is going to be out in this one. So Wallace, like I said, not bad in the utility spot. Guys like Kamara and Henderson, you can mix them in there in the utility. Um, and then yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at there. So moving on to tournaments. Um, I think, like I said, as I was talking earlier, even in MME, I'm probably going to have Shea Gilgeous in at least 85 to 90% of my MVP spots, just because I don't see anybody at all taking over. Maybe Jalen Williams. I just don't think Portland's going to stand a chance in this game. So, like I said, I think Jalen Williams. Nobody else has massive block side that could come out of nowhere. Like back in the day, like Hassan Whiteside. Oh man, good old days when you put him in the MVP spot and he gets 8 blocks and wins you a tournament. Um, but yeah, I don't think we have anybody in this one. So, like I said, Shea Gilgis, star position, I think is still probably going to have about 60% Jalen Williams, maybe 65%, but that's where I might start mixing a couple. But he is still the main guy. But then that's, like I said, you start mixing in a little bit. At the pro position, as I mentioned, like guys with block upside, but there's not a ton in this one. So, for me in tournaments, I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Denny Avila, Shannon Sharp a little bit off the bench. And then that's when you start thinking, all right, if this game's going to be a blowout, Portland has a lot of veterans. They're not going to play these dudes in the fourth quarter. They might play Simons a little bit, but Grant, Denny, these guys that are a little older, they're just not going to play them. So I could see Scoot Henderson getting a little bit of run in that fourth quarter as well. Sharp, as I mentioned. So Henderson and Sharp could be good GPP plays for pro and maybe one or two spots in the star position. Another guy that we can look at is Donovan Klingman, and this is an interesting one just because I need to see who's going to start for Portland. It's either going to be him or Robert Williams. Donovan Klingman, so the big thing about him is he's GPP for me just because he doesn't play a ton of minutes right now. He's just coming back from a small injury. But even when he still wasn't playing massive minutes. So that's why I say GPPs for me. Dude dropped 38.6 in 17 minutes, had 4 blocks, 1 steal. So that's kind of what I was telling you about. I like the guys with the blocks because in this pro spot, he'd be getting, 43, 44. So that's one guy I don't mind looking at in tournaments. And cash games, probably not. Even if he comes off the bench, you can look at him. But if he doesn't, Robert Williams is another guy you can look at. But I think Williams may get more ownership than Klingman for good reason. But Williams can also block as well. OKC is really good defense. They do struggle a little bit against rebounds, so that's why I like Klingman a little bit more. But Williams and Klingman both can rebound the ball. Like I said, Dort's gonna be out, so Wiggins is gonna be in the starting lineup. I do like Isaiah Joe if he's not starting in this position here. He's been out for a couple games. As you see, he plays about 18 to 20, 21 minutes. Doesn't matter kind of what game it is, blowout or not. As the blowout game against Brooklyn, though, he had 26.7. So I think Isaiah Joe, I'm probably going to have at least 30, 40% of him. I think he's one of the better, cheaper options down here, especially with Dort being out. So at 7,000, I do like him. I'll probably have a little bit of Jalen Williams still in here just because, like I said, Harnstein I think Harnstein's still going to play about 23, 24 minutes, but I still think Jalen Williams is going to play about 16 to 20 off the bench. So, in tournaments, I think he's worth a look for sure. I don't think they really need him in this game, but like I said, if you're playing a couple one-off tournaments, I don't think a lot of people are going to have Jalen Harnstein's back at all. So, other guys you can look at is Banton, not the greatest off the bench, but like I said, if you're playing multiple lineups, maybe put him in there in a couple. See who else I would really take a jab at. I don't think Carlson gets too much work in this one. So, yeah, like I said, I'm looking at my GPP guys. Like I said, in that pro spot, mixing in is definitely a little bit of Scoot Henderson. You can look at Alex Caruso more in the utility. Klingman, as I mentioned, and Williams, maybe a couple in the pro spot just because of the block upside. Maybe even in the star position, but that's really stretching. And chasing as well with Klingman. Let me see. But yeah, Joe, I think is probably your best guy down there. Wiggins, 7.5. He's in the starting lineup. I wish he wasn't starting. Maybe they start Joe, but still not the highest usage rate guy, just kind of an all around ball player, kind of helps everybody out. So another guy to look at, especially because he's starting. But like I said, I do like Joe a little more with the upside because he likes to shoot the threes, and Portland is, like I said, terrible against the 3-pointer, as you can see here. Um, like I said, 2.94, 3.1. They're some of the worst in the league giving up 3-pointers. So Joe should absolutely kill in this one. So that's kind of what we're looking at, guys. If you guys have any more questions about the single game, you guys can always hit me up on my Twitter, Chris Anthony NBA1. Give us a follow when you guys are there as well. Like I said, we are doing a buy-in. Like I said, if you guys want to, put in a little bit of money and have, a little bit into the tournament, like I said, let me know. Like I said, we do split it. If you guys want more information, I can, like I said, talk to you guys about that, how the buy-ins work and everything. But I've been doing them for a little bit with people. So, that's mostly it, guys. Like I said, no main lineup today. So if you guys are premium subscribers, I'm not doing not even a single game. Just because, like I said, I don't do that. It's hard to just do a lineup for a single game. When you're providing. So, but like I said, come join us for the buy-in. And like I said, we do have regular slate. Looks like starting back again tomorrow. So, also if you guys do want to play some NFL, I'm not the biggest. I know NFL, but I just don't play it. But if you guys are interested in it, you could always hit me up, and I could always swing you guys a free lineup or something, or we could always talk about it. So, um, that's mostly it, everybody. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and also hit that subscribe button as well. All right, guys. Hope you have a good one. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys a little bit later on.